Welcome everyone to my channel again, where today we are going to be doing a tutorial over Kensei. Some of you have asked for this tutorial after the shinobi video, and I apologize for the very long wait, but I was busy with some things, and I also had trouble deciding on how to go about this tutorial as well. So I apologize for that. But enough of that, on to the tutorial. So first off, let's start off with the basics. Kensei is a vanguard class, so this means he will get more renown and therefore more feats from controlling objectives and killing minions. This means mostly applies to Dominion at this moment. I'm not entirely sure on Tribute. This means if Kensei is to capture zones, he gains 15 renown, meanwhile other classes will gain about 10 unless they're hybrid, and he will also gain 2 renown from killing minions instead of 1, such as if you're an assassin killing a minion, you only gain 1 renown. So Kensei can very reliably gain renown fast, playing average Dominion objectives and taking care of B every now and then, making feat gain very easy. Next up, let's start off with his out of lock heavy. Upon running to your opponent and then pressing heavy, you will do a rushing sweep, and this is about 20 damage, as you can clearly see. And yeah, I should probably actually turn on my stamina. I didn't think entirely about that. So yeah, it doesn't use all that much, but it's very nice for. It's also very nice for clearing minions, but also getting to a fight. But you might want to be careful when you use that because it's a very easy parry. Now let's start off with this. Kensei can use any combination of 3 moves, so he can do light, 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 heavy, 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 or even light, heavy, light, and the list continues. Basically any combination. And his top light does do more damage than his side light. His first side heavy does more than his second side heavy. It does 40 versus 25. His top heavy will always do 40 until his third top heavy, but we'll get to that shortly. And I don't know about Kensei's third light. Oh, it's 12, 16, 20. Okay. Is the top one 20? It is. Okay. So the third light will always do 20. Now let's get into his dodge moves. First off, his dodge light. Upon dodging forward and then pressing light, Kensei will do a helm splitter that does 17 damage. It is a form of a top light, but it does 3 less damage. But it's a nice distance closer, if you will. Oh, that was a bad example, but we'll get into its other uses here in a minute. Kensei can also do a dodge forward heavy, Nature's Wrath, using the old animation for Kensei's Unblockable. Very easy, very good for closing distances, a lot more than Helm Splitter, and it also does a decent 20 damage. But it's also a very easy parry, so we use that wisely. He also has Swift Strike, being a dodge heavy, consuming 21 stamina and dealing 20 damage. It used to be you could delay this a lot, but since the nerf to 600 milliseconds recoveries being universal, Kensei can no longer delay this as much. Next up, we have dodge guard break. So I think it was Grasping Pounce is what it was called. Upon dodging forward and doing guard break, Kensei can do a guard break. Upon doing this, he is only given a side heavy. You cannot land a top heavy, and it will do 25 damage on that. Because funny thing is, dodge guard breaking and dodge attacking counts as chains in Kensei's moves. So upon doing a dodge light, it will count as a second move, and you'll be able to do your third move right after ending a chain. This also counts for guard breaking and throwing. So after guard breaking, That's your first move. Your second move being the heavy that does 25 damage. And then you do your, and after your throw, that counts as your second move, and then your heavy after that, well, the heavy in that case, was my third attack. So you can squeeze in a light there, if you so choose. Now, because of this, Kensei has a few very easy to access punishes. For instance, if we move the Orochi over to a wall over here, upon wall splatting, do a top heavy for very powerful and blockable. And this will give a nice 45 damage punish. However, I can't exactly, hang on, opponent stamina off. Oh wait, no, not off, turn it on, I'm stupid. That's revenge. I am an idiot. I am sorry, everyone. Crap. Give me a moment. It's gonna take me a minute to get you out of stamina. There we go. Upon getting someone out of stamina, do a dodge forward heavy into your unblockable. This will both be free, but your opponent can guard break you afterwards. You can choose to do just a simple unblockable afterwards if you want to play it safe. However, that is the max punish. Dodge forward, light, into an unblockable. Top heavy. So, yeah, now let's get on to the special attacks. Being anytime Kensei gets to his third move, he is allowed to do special forms of attacking. So the easiest way to get to that third move is, of course, doing dodge attacks. So, Helm Splitter, upon doing a top heavy, you will be granted unblockable. Upon doing a side heavy, you will gain hyper armor. Upon doing a side light or top light, you will also be given hyper armor. So this makes very, very good for punishing, as well as you can feint all of this, except for the lights. I don't know why I didn't feint that. Now, next up, we also have the soft feints, which are make up Kensei as since season 5. So, upon doing any form of a top heavy, we all know his top heavy is very slow but does 40 damage. But upon doing it, he can perform special soft feints from it. But they are different per every step in his chain. So anything from his first chain won't be available in the second chain, won't be available in the third chain, so on and so forth. So, from his first top heavy, he is allowed to turn into a side heavy, which also counts as his first attack. So, if I do... You can do that. You can also turn it into a side light. You cannot, however, turn it into another top attack. So, you're out of luck there. And this is only on top heavy. You can only soft feint from top heavy as Kensei. That is another thing to mention. So, another thing you are able to do is you are able to dodge out of it. This makes it very easy to perform dodge attacks. So, and you can, oh, wasn't supposed to show that. And basically do this. And also this. Now, I showed you could dodge forward guard break out of the first top heavy. But, what happens if you press guard break in the middle of your first top heavy? You will perform a pommel strike. Upon landing a pommel strike, you should do a top light to do maximum damage of 20. But if you perform a side one, you will only deal 16. However, upon missing the pommel strike, you are wide open to a guard break, unless you do a light, which is extremely parryable and predictable. My advice to you is, upon missing a pommel strike, do a heavy. because you can chain a heavy out of pommel strike, and this makes it very easy to trick your opponent. And now onto his second move. So Kensei can also chain a heavy that does 25 out of his second top heavy, because that does count as his second move. And oh, my bad. And I can't do it. And his side light will still do 16 damage. So that's all he really can do out of second top heavy, except he can also just plain guard break and dodge. So the second top heavy you can't pommel strike out of, so when you go to press guard break, you will just do a normal guard break. However, I recommend you do a dodge guard break to better track dodging, because it just does track dodging better. And it also appears to be slightly faster. Well, not really, it's only a little bit slower, but it catches your opponent way more off guard. And onto his third self feint. Since this is his third move, I can get a dodge attack to better easily access it. So, top heavy, and when you change it to a side heavy, you will maintain the hyper armor that the side heavy has. You will get all the properties of that attack you self feinted to. So, do a light. And so on and so forth. You can do a dodge, or even just a guard break. Making it a very powerful move. And the light also maintains the hyper armor as well. I think I forgot to mention that. So basically, Kensei can be very powerful. And you can also do stuff like, if your opponent tries to dodge a pommel strike, just dodge forward in a guard break, because it's a very fast attack. Dodging it on reaction is very difficult, so doing a kind of 50-50 with it is doable. You can also target switch. So like if there was another person here, I could do the unblockable, lock on to someone else, and then soft feint it to a side heavy or side light if I so chose to. Very, very, very powerful character, especially in ganks, because of this. And also because of Kensei's zone. Kensei's zone is a from neutral attack that is 500 milliseconds. That will also chain into another one, or well, it's technically 3 attacks. First one's 500 milliseconds. No one knows how fast the second one is because it's from behind, and then the third one is just about as fast, but it's a very long wind-up, so it's very easy to parry. Which is why, after the first attack, you can feint. But you will still do the attack from behind, but it's kind of unparryable because it is not hitting anyone that you are locked onto at the moment. Which is what unparryable attacks, how they work. So so now for parry punishes, I will enable the Orochi to do a light attack. Let's do a light attack for starters. So upon parrying a light, Kensei is given a free side heavy. He, however, is not given a free top heavy. That is not free. It might look like it, but he's definitely not. However, for parrying heavies, on the other hand, you are given 2 options. Do a helm splitter, which is the dodge forward light, or just do a normal top light. So, the reason I say this is because getting to Kensei's third move is almost a necessity to properly use this character. So, if you do a helm splitter as a heavy parry punish, you sacrifice 3 damage for mix-up potential that is much greater. So that also comes into play as well. And so you can do this, or even, I forgot to mention this as well, you can feint the soft feint because it does maintain its normalized properties. One last thing. Kensei has what is called superior dodge blocking. Some of you call this deflecting to a small degree, but Kensei's is a bit different, and always has been, unfortunately. Upon dodging in a direction, okay, I should probably make it a heavy just to better show it off. Upon dodging in the direction of an attack, Kensei will change his guard. But while he does this, while he's in the middle of dodging, he maintains a form of superior blocking that will interrupt your opponent's attacks. This is very hard to show for Orochi because he does not have a very wide swing. Upon doing this, most characters are given free attacks. Kensei, however, is yes and no. Upon doing it on the side, he is not given free attacks if it is blocked. However, if it is dodge, he can just do a swift strike. It's very hard to do it with Orochi. I don't know why I chose Orochi as the bot. However, there you go. See, it kind of interrupts him. However, the swift strike that comes after is not free. Now, here's the interesting thing. That's only on side attacks. Upon a top attack, he is given a free guard break, allowing for very, very intense wall punishes on just running into a top attack. Now, here's the other thing. Basically, throwing top attacks against Kensei's is suicidal because you might think, oh, he dodged forward and I can just feint it into a guard break. Wrong. Because Kensei's dodge forward into guard break can also be used to buffer a counter guard break. Many of you know this. So I am going to show it as an example. If I can do it right. Notice how I slightly dodged forward there. You can barely see it. And sometimes you might even interrupt others' guard breaks as well. He's not guard breaking me for some reason, I don't know why. I think I need to let him get back to his spot. I broke a bot. Did I break the bot? I think I broke the bot. Yeah, I did. Yeah, see? My recovery is a bit early. I didn't dodge forward that time, that's why. Yeah, so basically any form of guard breaking while the Kensei is dodging forward is just nullified because you already have a guard break you can buffer and therefore not be and counter guard break almost any time. And that kind of leaves Kensei in a very strong spot because that basically means any top attack is in his realm of doing whatever he wants. And also, his light attacks might be a bit parryable, but he makes up for it with the fact that he has a palm strike, he has a 50-50, he has very good punishes, and he also has very good feats, which is the next part of this video. Kensei has extremely good feats, even for Vanguard, to the point where some of them might seem a bit overtuned. Only slightly, though. I don't think most of them... I don't think they're too overpowered in any way. I think they're strong, but not overpowered. First up, we have Fast Recovery. Very good feat. Makes you just regenerate your stamina bar faster, whether you're out of stamina or do have stamina. Very reliable feat. Good for if you don't want to be out of stamina for too long and also want to get that good stamina back for clearing out minions with your zone attack. Body count. Killing soldiers grants you health and stamina. Pretty self-explanatory. Good for if you have a Kensei that you want to hold B with half the time, though that is personal taste. Iron Lungs. Why would you use Iron Lungs? I don't like this feat. No one likes this feat. The only use case for Iron Lungs is probably in Tribute. And even then, no one stays out of stamina long enough for this feat to be useful. So, yeah. Inspire. A semi-good feat, again, if you were holding B a lot, where you buff anyone that is in a small vicinity with more damage, and also the minions will fight faster. Could be better. Smoke bomb. If smoke bomb is recently gotten a buff, it blinds anyone that's in its vicinity, it hides people from the objective points, and it also makes it so no one can lock on. Very tough to deal with for your opponents, but otherwise a very good feat. Chilling Stare, arguably one of the best things about Kensei, is that he can range debuff you and then also make that an AoE. Basically, you can turn an opponent into an AoE Fear itself team killer. He can debuff an enemy, and then anyone that gets around that enemy, along with the enemy himself, will have major debuffs applied. Basically Fear itself, but avoidable, I guess you could say. Second Wind. You can recover some of your health that you have lost. However, untold parts of this feat are that it also removes any bleed you have. So if you're in the middle of bleeding, you can quickly use Second Wind to wipe it away and also gain some of your health back. Very good feat. Longbow. Moderate damage, takes a little bit long to charge up, and also, yeah, for third feats, it's a pretty long to charge up feat, but does deal about 45 damage, which is a little bit less than 2 bars. Personally, I don't like to use it because it takes so long to charge up. It takes like 3 or 4 seconds, which is a very good, hey, dodge at this correct time. Done. And also, it misses more than it hits anyway. Meanwhile, Second Wind always works, so whatever. Steadfast. Gain immunity from regular throw attempts for a short duration. This feat, I don't know why I don't see this as often. Probably because it does need a minor tune. But basically, anytime you attempt to throw the Kensei, you will just be stuck in that card break attempt. You cannot throw a Kensei with this feat active. However, the problem is, this feat has a limited time duration that is very short, and it can be very good if a Kensei needs to stay on a point where a lot of ledging could be done. However, I prefer Second Wind because I like to keep my health. Also because I myself have sacrificed execution health regeneration, so Second Wind is a very nice thing to make up for that. Next up for fourth feats, we have Aerostorm. Never use Aerostorm. I keep saying this. Don't use Aerostorm. It's a very bad feat. Might be useful in Breach. Not entirely sure. I doubt it though. Stalwart Banner. Very good feat, but could use a small buff. Any allies that are placed near a specific banner will start to slowly gain health. Honestly, I think the amount of health you gain in the banner should be buffed as well as the banner's range. But because the banner's range is pretty small, and the health you gain from it's also pretty small, it's just a somewhat weak feat. However, now we get to Kensei's fourth feat, which most people will be using if they ever played Kensei, the unblockable feat. All attacks become unblockable for a very short duration. Now, the duration is very short, maybe like 40 seconds. Actually, no, I think it's 30 seconds. And it only takes 40 seconds to recharge, so once a Kensei gets the unblockable feat, he can really start making a difference on his team. And this also accounts for his soft feints as well. So anytime a Kensei were to soft feint an unblockable attack with his feat active, it would also turn into an unblockable attack then as well, meaning your opponents always have to stay on your toes. However, I do recommend you do not spam lights because that is extremely predictable. Instead, try and feint your heavies a lot into lights. That way your opponent is really left on their toes, and 90% of the time they'll die. Now, due to small demand that I have gotten in the comments below, someone also suggested I go over gear stats and optional builds. So, since I do not have many builds for Kensei, I will instead go over my own at the current moment. So, overall, there's many things you could do. For instance, one of the builds I have is maximum stamina. Sacrifice small amounts of defense and all debuff resistance, because debuff resistance only applies to bleed and maybe a little bit of fear itself, but if you get hit while you're in fear itself, 90% of the time you're dead anyway. So, and it only and also sharpen blade as well, but in that sense, all it does is it makes it last longer, or it makes it like you take 6 more damage if all your debuff resistance is removed, maybe. So I don't really care so much about that as I should. Now, upon doing this, I have of course gained 100% exhaustion recovery. This means I am out of stamina for no more than 2 seconds, making pretty big difference in out of stamina punishes. For instance, if you go to out of stamina punish me and you leave yourself open to guard break slightly, once I gain stamina, once I get back up, I'm immediately full stamina and able to full punish you because you did an unsafe punish while I was out of stamina. Very, 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 very good. And we also have the I also kept this balanced over here to better suit me. And for my arms, I got rid of stamina regen because, and this is why I did this, because my exhaustion recovery is so high, and also I'm running fast recovery, it makes up for this already. So I already gained stamina stupidly fast, plus I'm out of stamina for no more than like literally faster than you could say some words in the English dictionary. So having stamina regen, I can just simply remove that and buff the rest of my stats, overall improving that build. So only thing I really technically get rid of in this build is debuff resistance, which again could be, it's not really all that big of a difference as far as I've seen. And since I've decided to go a different route and remove block damage, but I haven't seen any. I mostly went for full damage, but while you may see my attack has not really increased, if we go over here, I got rid of execution health regen, which is why I have second wind, and also I plan to stay on points a lot. But in exchange, I increased my attack slightly, and also revive speed. But why is my attack still so low? It's because over here I got rid of 6% and I buffed the crap out of my revenge. So I gain revenge stupidly fast, and if I were to do the max punish while I had revenge using the 50-50 that I mentioned earlier with the pommel strike and dodge for guard break, I could potentially get 100 max damage punish. So it adds up pretty well, yeah. Other than that, I have nothing else to show you in this tutorial. I hope you all have enjoyed, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I look at all your comments, and if you do not see me respond, it's most likely because it was a rhetorical response. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me as well. And I'll see all you dudes in the next one. Bye!